For 5 years, a shadowy group quietly spent $900 million buying up 50,000 acres of farmland in California, enough to build a city twice the size of San Francisco. No one knew who was behind it. The sellers were sworn to silence. The public was left guessing. Then came the bombshell. Some of Silicon Valley's most powerful billionaires had been planning a city in secret. This is California Forever, a controversial plan to construct a walkable, solar-powered city for 400,000 people in rural Solano County. Promising affordable homes, 53,000 jobs, and $16 billion in economic impact, the project sounds like a utopian dream. But farmers, environmentalists, and even the Pentagon are sounding alarms. So what exactly are they trying to build? And why are so many people worried? Let's find out. It all began in 2017 when a former Goldman Sachs trader named Jan Sramik came up with a bold idea. He started a company called California Forever and, through a shell company named Flannery Associates, began buying up land. Slowly, quietly, and without drawing too much attention. For years, no one knew who was behind these massive land deals. Local farmers sold their land for top dollar, but rumors quickly started to fly. Was a foreign government buying the land? Was it a secret military base? Then, in August 2023, the mystery was finally solved. It turned out that some of Silicon Valley's biggest names wanted to build something huge, a brand new city. One that promised affordable housing, clean energy, and thousands of new jobs. But why build it here? Solano County sits between San Francisco and Sacramento. The land is cheaper, and there's room to grow. Sounds perfect, right? Well, not quite. Most of the land is zoned for farming only, so if they want to build a city, they'll need voters to change the rules. That's when the campaign began. Town halls, online surveys, colorful drawings of the future city. They talked about jobs, lower housing prices, and billions in new growth. But not everyone is excited. Some farmers say they're being pushed out. Environmental groups worry about water. And Travis Air Force Base has raised serious security concerns. So what's really going on here? And the big question, can they actually make it happen? Picture streets lined with Mediterranean-style homes, cozy neighborhoods you can walk across in minutes, and smart design that puts everything, homes, schools, shops, within easy reach. This is what California Forever calls the 15-minute city. But what does that actually mean? It means you could live, work, shop, and even go to school without ever needing a long car ride. At the center of this plan are mixed-use neighborhoods, blocks where you can live, shop, and learn all in one place. Add in wide bike lanes and a bus that stops every half mile, and you've got a place designed for people, not traffic. Sounds like a dream, right? And it doesn't stop there. The city will also use some very cool technology. Instead of noisy garbage trucks, there will be pneumatic waste systems that suck trash through underground pipes. No more bins outside your door. The city will also have a district thermal energy system, helping reduce the need for dirty fuels. And to power it all, a huge 2-gigawatt solar farm, enough electricity for 1.5 million homes. But here's the catch. Building something this big isn't easy. Where they want to build the city is called non-prime grazing land by the developers. But local groups like Solano Land Trust say that's not the full story. They argue this land is actually valuable farmland, and taking it away could hurt local farmers. Then there's the issue of water. The land is dry most of the year. That makes people wonder, where will the water come from? The American Farmland Trust warns that turning these water-saving farmlands into city land could hurt underground water supplies. California Forever says it has a plan. Take water from the Sacramento River and reuse water with recycling systems. But groups like the Sierra Club say that might not be enough. What happens during a drought, when water is already scarce? And that's not all. The roads leading to the area are a serious danger. Highway 12 and Highway 113 need big upgrades. They're so risky, locals call one of them Blood Alley. Even the company's own studies agree. These roads aren't ready for a busy city. But maybe the biggest worry is something else. Travis Air Force Base. It's the busiest military airfield in the country. At first, the Air Force looked into who was buying land near the base. They were worried it could be foreign buyers, which could raise national security issues. Since then, California Forever has promised to keep an 8-kilometer gap from the base, more than the 1.6-kilometer gap Fairfield uses. In February 2024, base leaders said they were cautiously optimistic, but that doesn't mean all the problems are gone. The base uses low-flying planes for training, and if thousands of people move nearby, will there be complaints about the noise? If there are, could that change the way the Air Force uses the base? California Forever says it will use special solar panels that don't reflect light and buildings that block out noise. But here's the catch. No one's ever tried that on a city this big. Will it work? But not everyone is cheering for this new city. So who's pushing back the hardest? It's the farming community. Local farmers have been some of the loudest voices against the project. Why? Because they say the company behind the plan, Flannery Associates, used harsh tactics to buy up land. In fact, they once filed a $510 million lawsuit against farmers for working together on land sales. That lawsuit was later dropped after both sides reached deals, but the bad feelings didn't go away. The Solano County Farm Bureau says this project could wipe out some of California's best farmland, land that doesn't even need irrigation and helps refill underground water supplies. Sounds important, right? But California Forever, the company behind the city, says there's more to the story. They argue that the land in question makes up less than 2% of the county's total farm output. They say it only brings in about $6 million a year and mostly supports low-value grazing. Still, environmental groups aren't convinced. They point out that this land is also home to rare animals and special wetland pools. So it's not just about farms, it's about nature too. Then there's the money question. Could this new city bring jobs and big dollars to the area? Blue Sky Consulting Group thinks so. They believe the city could create 53,000 permanent jobs and bring in $16.1 billion each year by 2040. Construction alone could create 12,000 short-term jobs. That sounds huge. The plan is to focus on high-tech jobs, things like making drones and indoor farming. Some companies, like Hadrian and Plenty, have already said they want to join, but not everyone is convinced. Fairfield's mayor, Catherine Moy, wonders if these new tech jobs will actually help local people. After all, nearly 30% of Solano's workers have lower-paying jobs in farming or shipping. Will they be left out? The developers say they've thought about this. They've promised that the city won't grow past 50,000 people unless it first creates 15,000 good-paying jobs. Jobs that pay at least 125% of the average wage in the county. Sounds fair, right? But there's a catch. This rule depends on a special agreement with local officials. And guess what? That agreement hasn't been signed yet. The political landscape has proven equally challenging. So, what went wrong? California Forever first aimed for a big move, a ballot initiative in November 2024. This would have let them skip Solano County's strict growth rules. But by July 2024, they pulled the plan. Why? The opposition was just too strong. Now, they're trying a different path. Instead of rushing, they're going through the regular approval process. It's slower, with environmental impact reports expected to take until 2026. But it gives them time to win over the public. To help with that, the company has turned up the charm. They're offering $500 million in community perks. That includes $400 million to help people buy homes and $70 million for scholarships. And there's more. They've also pitched the idea of a shipbuilding facility on 1,400 acres near Collinsville. The goal? Tap into Solano's rich maritime past to build support. Some local leaders, like Rio Vista's mayor, are cautiously interested, but remain firmly opposed. Groups like Solano Together call it a hostile takeover of county land. Behind the scenes, the money raises big questions. Where's it coming from? Well, 97% is US-based, with big names like Andreessen Horowitz and Emerson Collective. The other 3% comes from Stripe's Irish founders, but even that small foreign slice raises eyebrows. The project relies on patient capital, meaning investors expect to wait decades. With construction potentially taking over 30 years, can California Forever survive opposition and deliver on its promises? What do you think? Is California Forever a smart idea or just a big dream? Let us know in the comments. And if you liked this video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next one.